Conversation Hat Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Conversation Hat Podcast. This is ostensibly a podcast for artists, weirdos and terrible people. Was that right?
Close
Probably
enough.
nerds in there
Close
as well.
enough.
We've got merch. Buy the merch. It'll say it on there. I can't be expected to remember everything.
Yeah, why would
This
the
is
host
where-
need to know the branding?
Yeah. This show is with me, Ben, and him, Liam.
Hello.
Liam, say hello.
Hello.
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm not loving the heat. And that has been basically 100% of my conscious thought for the last week is, wow, it's hot, innit? That's all that I'm going through currently. How about you?
That's 100% your thought process.
Yes.
You've not eaten, slept.
I've not even slept. I've not even
Bathed.
had to consciously think whilst plugging in microphones or doing anything. I'm basically on autopilot. I don't mind it, but it is hot.
Nice.
Thank you.
Our guest this week is Zyonik from Twitch, Mr. Ryan Hackel. Hello, Ryan. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, Ben?
I did say that right, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Cool. I've only just learnt how to read.
And talk. He's doing really well. He's a busy boy.
He is. He is.
I am. It's good that you've noticed my progress. It's appreciated. Ryan, tell us a little bit about what you do. Tell us about your Twitch. Tell us about your life. Tell us about you.
Yeah, so I'm a Pokemon GO PvP content creator on both YouTube and Twitch. YouTube's my main platform, and then I do a couple live streams a week on Twitch, and I cover directly PvP because in the game there's online matchmaking called Go Battle League where you can just fight against opponents, and that's what I do. That's my bread and butter. I just love Pokemon GO PvP.
Hell yeah. I have only just got my gold badge for the Great League. I am not a professional.
It's all right. Did you have fun?
I did have fun.
What'd you use?
Apart from when it was like 2:00 in the morning and I couldn't quite figure out what team to use, and I would just get beaten 10 times in a row and go to bed sad.
Oh no.
I should watch your videos and learn. You
It
did
can be
teach.
informative, yeah.
You did teach me the 3-second thing.
Oh yeah, for Team
Wait.
Rocket?
Yeah, where you swap Pokemon out and you get an extra 3 seconds of attacking.
Oh yeah.
That really helped because I was getting furious tears in my eyes.
Completely understand. It makes it so much easier, right? You just sit there and just attack for free. Yeah.
It does. Liam doesn't play Pokemon Go, so he has no idea what we're talking about.
My smartphone has a camera, though. That's pretty cool, right?
Well, basically, we catch mythical creatures in our phone and walk around aimlessly throughout the world, and people stare at us. That's about what happens.
I love the technology behind Pokemon Go, and I love that the game, especially when it first came out, like all the boomers were angry that there were teenagers on the street, and it's like, do you want them at home on their Xboxes or do you want them on the street on their phones? Fucking pick a team. I just happen to like not be that into Pokemon. Like I can only count up to 100. So when they brought in more Pokemon in the early 2000s, I was like lost interest.
Dude, there was 151 Pokemon in 1996.
Okay, well, childhood ruined. So what I was going to suggest is, for the benefit of any of Ryan's followers that have come to listen to the podcast, we should just say it's not going to be all Pokemon. I don't really have control over what's in the hat, but I'm pretty sure there's not much Pokemon in there. So if you're here for Pokemon stuff, bleh. But for the benefit of...
But
I was going to say...
don't go though.
Yeah, don't stay here.
Stay here and listen, please.
We love you.
Yeah.
But for the benefit of our listeners who maybe are into Pokemon Go but haven't experienced Zyonik before, are there any like tidbits or, I don't know, behind the scenes information or just general game tips that you could share to give people a taste of what they would get from your streams and from your show?
Just a couple, just one or two little freebies.
Okay, yeah. So, in a lot of my videos, I either showcase teams that I run or teams that the community runs. So if you're, maybe you're stuck at a certain rank trying to level up and you don't know what team would be good, videos on YouTube, whether it's my channel or other channels, will showcase teams like that. And then another thing is, there's a website called pvpoke.com. That's pvpoke.com. That's the Bible of PvP. So if you want to know more Like, you want to know what's the best Pokemon in Great League, there's ranking listings there and everything. So that's where I would suggest you guys go to start off.
Amazing. What are the best links or sites for people to find you, and what are your handles on those sites?
Yeah, so it's YouTube, it's Zyonik, Zyonik, and then Twitter, at Zyonik, spelled the same with an underscore after it, because someone stole my name.
It'll happen.
Bastards.
It'll happen. Yeah. Amazing. Shall we just jump in with the questions?
Let's go.
Now it'll sound
Like Liam, let's go.
like to the toilet.
I get it.
Like Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go.
Oh, why is it
Pokemon
called,
Go, Liam.
Why is
That's a
it
good
called
dad joke, Ben.
Pokemon Go and not
Thank you.
Pokemon Left?
Pull a question out the hat and then say what it says. That's the whole point of this podcast.
Question number 1. Discuss a franchise or fandom that people like but went straight over your head. So I guess things that you've missed out on, whether it be movies or games franchises that people liked that for whatever reason you never got.
Lost had me confused for a long time.
Yeah.
Lost had everyone confused for a long time.
Yeah, didn't it end up at the end everyone was actually just dead and it was a dream or something?
Something I think it was
yeah.
a dream, or was it the
No,
afterlife?
that they all died. The island was purgatory.
That was it.
Some of them got to go, which made them coming off the island made no sense because then they were somewhere else, and then they were.
Yeah. While watching it, I was like, "This is like real-time Survivor."
Yeah.
This is what I'm watching,
Mm-hmm.
and no, it's actually an afterlife purgatory in the mind of someone that it was all kinds of messed up.
It was actually, I know stuff about Lost because when that came out, I loved it, and then it just sort of kept going, and then less so. It was only meant to be 3 seasons, but then it got really successful, so they just went, okay, we're going to do another 2.
Yeah.
But they had no story to fill those 2 seasons. They just started making stuff happening and going, we'll fix it later.
Yeah.
But then
Which is why they all ended up dead, because they just went, yeah, we cannot fix this.
Well, also, I think what happened was that was the writers' strike in LA when they decided we're going to end it.
Oh,
and
was it then?
They had the writers' strike, and the producers or whoever were like, the kid that used to get the coffee for the actual writers is now in charge of finishing this massive series with loads of loose ends, and he's like, dream.
I played Mario 2 once. It was all a dream.
Turns out it's a stage show.
But this is the other thing. When they pitched the show, they lied.
Okay.
It wasn't meant to be a big supernatural mystery thing. The smoke monster that doesn't get explained until end of season 5 was meant to be explained within first 3 episodes.
Oh.
All of this stuff was meant to be done, and they just lied about it.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of like the Game of Thrones writers, where they dragged out the Night King for what, 8 seasons, and then in 1 episode killed him.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like
Really
the most
anticlimactic.
unsatisfying fight. Oh man, that
There's
hurt.
one weakness: a child with a knife.
And then everything just dies, except main characters
Yeah.
Yeah.
who have been swamped by
It's your point about
There's a
Lost.
trend.
Your point about Lost is interesting, Ben. Like, and it mirrors something that I sort of experienced in college, which is that the people who make decisions about what is good or bad art have no understanding of what is good or bad art. So basically, if you have an opportunity to make a show on Netflix or any of the, less so maybe Netflix, I think they're a little more in touch, but like in traditional media, if you have an opportunity to do something, just say whatever they need to hear to get the thing made. And then you're going to make the first series, they're going to be confused as to what they're watching, but you're going to have an audience that want to resolve all of these plot holes. So by that point, you're going to have to finish the series, whether the actual executive producers like it or not. So just say whatever you got to say to get the thing made and worry about it later. Because you're going to get work off the back of whatever that series is if it's successful and if it's creative enough. You're not necessarily going to get work if an executive producer actually likes you. Maybe that's bad information to give out, but like that's just my experience of the world. But what do
Get
I
your foot in
know?
the
I'm a
door.
successful writer. That was a lie.
Yes,
I
you
am.
are, Liam.
Neither
Well
of
done.
those things are true. I'm dyslexic and I live in a shed. Don't take my advice.
There's meant to be a Game of Thrones spin-off that's set like during the wars before Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Because of the shambles that was the 8th series, I think a lot of people who liked Game of Thrones won't watch it because of
Yeah.
the 8th series. And some people who were intrigued and might have watched it won't watch it because their friends have said don't bother because they ruined the 8th series. Some people still will. Oh, now we're on Game of Thrones. Let's get off Game of Thrones.
I'm Game of Thrones sad again. God damn it. It's a very specific. The French probably have a word for it, but like, yeah.
Oh no, that would be a German word.
Like
The sadness of Game of Thrones.
Gewürztraminer. I think it's a
Dracarys Downs.
I didn't get the fuss over Yu-Gi-Oh! There's one.
Oh man, I had that arm thing they'd wear where they put the cards on.
Yeah.
And stuff? I had that as a kid. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh came in when I think I was like 11.
Yeah.
So I was like primed and ready. Yeah, I was hard into Yu-Gi-Oh for like 2 years, and then
I remember
then
it was
Halo
one of those
came
things
out.
where like you see the accoutrements and like the surrounding toys, like the arm thing, and like that's pretty cool. But I don't get the core concept, so I'm not going to buy the stuff.
It's like the mythical creatures that are in Pokemon are instead in a card. So you hold the card and summon the mythical creature to defeat your enemy. That's big. I'm about mythical creatures, I guess.
See, if it was explained to me in that way, like I don't need your fancy adverts or your anime series. I just need someone to explain the basic concept in simple English and compare it to other things I already like.
There's a bad guy on the other side of the battlefield. You have a card full of mythical creatures. Use him to kick his butt.
See, now I'm into it. I'm 31
Yeah.
and I'm into you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
You
gonna
get you a
re-
blue
gonna
eyes
go
white
back.
dragon.
Yeah. I also didn't get Digimon because I remember looking at it and going,
Digimon.
"This is clearly Pokemon."
It's a knockoff Pokemon.
Yeah.
I disagree.
I mean, I
think
realize there's
Digimon
probably
was
more
great.
to it, but like at the time, as a kid, as a teenager, I was like, "This is the suffix from that successful franchise with a new prefix." And it's small things that attack each other. How is this not a rip-off?
I think they both came out pretty much at the same time, so
Yeah, they did.
there wasn't plagiarism. It was just that Pokemon happened to be the first release game on the most successful handheld console of all time. So that kind of gave it a boost. If you put the anime of Pokemon and the anime of Digimon next to each other, I think Digimon is much better,
Okay.
but nowhere near as successful.
Yeah.
Because just for the fact that it's not Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what passed me by, because
ever
there's
have
some things that
Boglins or Pogs.
yeah, I
What
had
about,
those.
oh gosh. Well, there's one Beyblades.
Oh yeah, I remember Beyblades.
But
Remember that?
I
that was
played
just-
with Beyblades,
Yeah.
but my school sounds less and less like a school and more like some sort of Hunger Games shit the more I talk about it. Instead of hitting the Beyblades into Beyblades like you should, what we do is someone would put their hand in the ring and then everyone sets their Beyblades off. And
How do you
Yeah.
select
Yeah.
the person to sacrifice their knuckles?
I don't know, whoever didn't have a Beyblade.
Okay, that seems fair. Beyblades were like Pogs,
Loser.
but like
Boom.
with sharp edges, right?
They're
Okay,
they're butterfly knife Pogs.
great. That's what you need with Pogs.
I'm gonna say
it was the old school fidget spinner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Self-spun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Self-harm fidget spinners, that's what we used to call them.
Yeah, but with like dangerous sharp edges that
Yeah.
will destroy the other fidget spinner.
Yeah.
What is a toy without the potential for harm?
I'm gonna say the American Office.
Really?
That's like one of my top 5 shows of all time.
Same.
See, it seems to be the top 5 show of everyone's.
Yeah.
I think I am a big fan of Ricky Gervais' Office. I thought it was a great show, and a lot of American remakes that I'd seen before that just didn't do it for me. Like The Inbetweeners didn't work. IT Crowd didn't really work. So I already had that in my head.
Yeah.
And I tried watching some of season 1, and I'm told that it's just the first 2 seasons that are basically The Office,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
in America.
Yeah.
So I thought, I don't find this particularly funny. I do like the original. I could just watch the original, and then I never got past the first 2 seasons, so I never kept going with it.
I never watched the original Office because I just don't really like Ricky Gervais for whatever reason. Just don't. So I never realised that episode 1 was an exact duplicate of the British version, and that the first 2 seasons were ostensibly the same thing. So like I just viewed it as an entirely. I knew it was a clone, but I hadn't seen the original, so I didn't have that reference in my head. So I just enjoyed it for what it was, and like there's some. I mean, the parkour episode, like there's some real gems in there. I would suggest giving it another go now that you've had some time away from the original one, but like it sounds like maybe you've made your mind up, so you're not going to get into it anyway.
Well, it's like people have said, as you just did, there are some gems in there.
Well, I mean,
that sort of feels like, you know,
what I mean is there's some stuff that, having not seen it in 6 years, I still remember as being the funniest shit in the world. I couldn't guarantee that every single episode was a laugh riot, but there's still bits that I remember as being really amazingly funny.
So yeah, I just think that it passed me by.
Sure.
I might end up going and watching it, and then but yeah, at the moment, it passed me by, and I didn't. I think it's part of the thing that as soon as someone says, "Oh my God, you'll love this," you have to watch it. I instantly don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's with all. Oh yeah, I've learned that everyone suggests great shows. They're like, "Oh my gosh, this show's amazing," and if I watch it, it typically is. But I'm off put by someone going, "You have to watch this show.
Yeah.
Same.
You have to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Nine-Nine." And I'm like, no, I'm not going to. And then when my son was born, from like 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. every morning, and I was watching him, I'd have Brooklyn Nine-Nine on. I'm like, this is actually a really good show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the same with Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
At least I think season 2 was out, and I was like, no, don't stop telling me that I'll love this. And then I did end up watching it, and I was sat there going, what the fuck do my friends think of me that they think that I would like this weird ass shit? I mean, I love it, but how dare they think of me?
Yeah.
I've definitely spoken about this before on like this podcast and others, but like I had the exact same thing with music growing up. And now being a professional musician, I have to justify I don't actually give a crap about Jimi Hendrix or The Clash or Pink Floyd, because
Or
as
Queen,
a
you
teenager,
said.
oh my God, I really don't actually give a crap about Queen more than anything else. Because as a teenager, like, oh, you like Def Leppard, you love Queen. Like, okay, don't tell me what I like, because right now I like Motley Crue. In 20 minutes, I might like Def Leppard again. Please stop telling me what I have to do. And then just out of being a stubborn piece of shit, I've just not even really bothered with any of them. But yeah, it is annoying. So Ben, don't watch The Office. You'll hate it. The American one.
The American one. Whoa. Okay, yeah.
I'm just trying to reverse psychology here.
Okay.
I'll let you know this. If you do decide to watch The Office, the season-ending, resolve is the opposite of what Game of Thrones season 8 was.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the opposite.
Yeah.
Like you will be satisfied. I'm just letting you know. Yeah.
It's one of the few shows that actually ends and you're like,
I cried.
Yeah, totally.
I cried.
It's that rare combination of you're satisfied in terms of they've resolved everything from a narrative, but you actually don't mind that there's not going to be any more.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of like if there's any other examples of that. It's like
I can't think of any off the top of my head,
Yeah.
but there are a few shows that you sort of go, that's ended.
that's fine.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the other one would be Friends.
Yeah, totally.
I think Friends is very comparable.
Yeah.
To it's one of those shows you just watch. You can just pick up an episode and just watch it for fun, but it also has a plot that ends. That's what it is.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's the same deal. The way they ended it, it was like, actually, I'm fine with the 400 years of Friends we have so far. We can leave it there.
I have watched Friends twice during lockdown.
Wow.
Yeah,
You know, there's other
I,
shows, right? Like The Office.
I know, but it was just sort of like I put it on when I was at my house because, hey, to have something on. It's a long series. You can just sort of have it on. There's background noise and that.
Yeah, you can dip in and out. You can wash your feet, whatever.
Yeah, so I watched all of that whilst washing my feet. And then when we were allowed to have friend bubbles or whatever, I went and stayed at Friends for a few weeks. And we rewatched Friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
And it's not something you're like, oh man, I gotta watch the show again. It's like, no, it's cool. Like Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory is another good example of
Yeah, just
watch
throw it
as
on.
many times as you want.
Although I haven't finished Big Bang Theory.
That's another good ending.
The
Yeah, I don't know how it ends.
I find that quite often I'll put on Breaking Bad thinking it's one of those shows that you can just sort of have on the background. You're like, no, this is super compelling. I need to like cancel my plans for the week. I did that again. I finished Breaking Bad for the 5th time last week.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty good. And then I watched El Camino and Better Call Saul. They're all quite good.
I've not watched Al Camino, and I've only watched season 1 of Better Call Saul, I think.
I haven't watched either of those.
I would encourage you to
I
watch
would
them,
recommend.
Well, now I'm not going to.
but now I know.
Ah, damn it! Don't watch Breaking Bad, it sucks.
Yeah, I've watched it. It's good. It's good.
That's a good collection of stuff we don't like. Good job. Let's.
I'm sure no one in the comments will get pissed off with us.
The conversation hatch.
Hey Ben,
Hey Liam.
Ben.
Yeah?
It's getting to know you.
Woo! Jingle.
Getting to know you. Oh my god.
What have you done?
So, Ryan, this is Getting to Know You. What Getting to Know You is a little game that Liam and I play that I tend to win because Liam sucks.
Measurably untrue based on the last episode that went out,
Shut up.
where I won.
Yeah, you did. We will ask our guest, Ryan, you, to tell us something that is true about yourself and something that is not true about yourself.
Okay.
We don't want to know which one's which because Liam and I will then try and figure out. We might ask you a couple of questions to try and figure out which is which. We will then guess and the winner will be revealed.
It's a very simple concept that has inexplicably been screwed up in the past, and that's why we explain it for 5 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. That's
In the
fine.
past, we have been given 2 truths, 2 lies.
Yeah.
The one that ruined
Sometime-
me was the first one was a positive,
Oh, that
the
was,
second one was a negative. So I was like,
Yes.
and it took me like a full half hour to work out, so either they're both true or neither are true.
Ryan, if you have your statements prepared, we would like to
Yep.
hear your first statement, please.
My first statement is when I was in the military, the United States military, I was stationed at Travis Air Force Base in California for 6 months for my tech school training.
Okay. We would like to hear your second statement, please.
My wife and I met on Tinder.
Now.
That second one's easier to write down.
See, now, something that people listening to this may not know, Ryan is married to my cousin.
Yeah.
I should really know which one of these is true and
This
which
is why I
not.
put this one in because I don't think you know.
I was at the wedding.
Yep, you were. And every family Christmas.
Ben,
I don't know the answer to this.
This is
Okay.
why I put it in here because
I
it's
have-
going to be good.
I have a question for Ryan and a question for Ben.
Okay.
Ryan, when did you and your now wife meet?
5 years ago today.
Ben, were you on
Yes.
Tinder 5 years ago, and did you happen to see a picture of your cousin?
You
Because
can't lie.
that would clear this whole thing up.
I mean, well, see, the thing is, I think I was on Tinder 5 years ago.
Yeah. I was going to say, I
At
thought
least
that
for a little
maths worked
bit.
out.
I don't know if... Like, if I did see my cousin on Tinder, I might have gone, hey, there's my cousin on Tinder. But it was 5 years ago. It's not something that I would
Would that not
really
stick in your
commit to
brain?
memory.
Or
Yes, but it's one of those things that you having said it, I could have just created a false memory of it now.
let's say no then.
So and even if I had, that doesn't necessarily mean that Tinder is how this lovely couple got together.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Okay, Ben, do you
I
have...
know I know that Ryan was in the military.
Do you know what Air Force base he was stationed at?
So I know that you were in Guam for a while. But again, that doesn't mean that it was the only place that you were at.
No, I was stationed at, I think, like 12 different bases over the 5 years.
So that works out maths-wise to almost at any time he could have...
But it's specifically
been
that
in
you completed
California.
your tech school training at Travis, is that right?
Yep.
So
Yeah,
how
it's
long...
carpentry training.
Okay, so how long does that... I'm going to call it a course because I don't know what the correct word is. How long is that course?
It's 6 months, and
6
it's
months.
broken up into a couple different parts. The first month and a half, 2 is more like groundwork, so like concrete, masonry, brick,
Okay.
and then you go into carpentry, and then you go into welding and fabrication and stuff, and that's the whole 6-month course. Once you complete that and you graduate, then you get tasked with your base, which is then how I got stationed in England.
Cool. So where is Travis?
Travis is in California in the Bay Area, so about an hour out of San Francisco.
Okay.
Oh, I've been to San Francisco. I would have been... I mean, this was a couple of years ago, so you weren't there. Did you... were you good at your training? I mean, obviously you passed.
Yeah,
or
I
at least
graduated.
hope you
I
passed.
graduated at the top. Well, I can't say the top of my class because my grade percentage. We did it out of like you get 100 overall, like on the course. I got a 98, and the top guy got a 98.2.
Ah, son of a bitch.
Yeah, that's like no, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Okay, I have one more question. I'm slightly scared of. What made you swipe yes to my cousin on Tinder?
It was her hair, so she had a picture that made her look like Khaleesi.
Okay. Back when Game of Thrones was good.
Yeah, back when you tuned in every Sunday or for, yeah, it was Sunday or Monday depending on where you're at in the world, but yeah, Sunday.
Okay.
What series of GOT would have been published 5 years ago?
2 or 3, I would have said, just
Yeah.
because
Okay,
maths.
so Pete Khaleesi. Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a potential episode title right there. Peak Khaleesi.
Peak Khaleesi.
Story or name of your sex tape.
Climb the peak, Khaleesi. Okay, I have my... I've settled on my answer. Liam?
I mean, I have a general question rather than a wanting to win the game question. So this kind of training in the Air Force Base, like what's the intended outcome? What would be your role in the field having completed that
So
training?
my role is basically a general builder. So they send me from bases to bases to either repair or construct new facilities, and that's basically was my job in the military. I was a builder, and they'd send me around to bases and fix stuff or build new stuff.
Cool. Ben, what's your answer? And this won't affect my answer, I promise.
Okay. I know that you're both Game of Thrones fans, and on your wedding... was it on your actual cake or as a centerpiece? You had 2 pop vinyl figures made up to look like each of you, and
Amazing.
your wife's was originally a Daenerys one, I think.
Yep.
And I know that she loves Daenerys.
Yep.
And having played this game before, what people normally do is say something true and then they change a detail of it.
Yeah.
So I think you completed your course, but somewhere else. Like at a different base. You may have gone to this base, but I think you completed it somewhere else. So I'm going to say that you met your wife on Tinder.
I'm in agreement this time for much the same reason. I think that you did train in the tech school, but I think you could have been stationed at Travis, but those things don't necessarily have to be the same
Yeah.
I phrased that horribly, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
you probably were stationed at Travis because you were stationed like 12 different places, and you have done the tech school training, but you didn't necessarily do that at Travis. And I think as Americans stationed in Britain, I think finding a partner or seeking companionship on Tinder is probably fair enough. Yeah, so I'm in agreement with Ben. I think the tech school training at Travis Air Force Base is the lie.
Okay, cool. Because Liam thinks Tinder, I'm changing my answer. I'm still certain that it's Tinder, but I don't want the same answer as Liam. So I'm going against Liam.
We either both win or we both lose. What's wrong with you?
Well, then
you
no
are what's
score
wrong with
check.
this country.
No score change. I want score change, Liam. Even if we both win, it doesn't put a difference between the scores, so we'd both be losers. So I'm now going to go airbase, even though I think it's Tinder.
Okay,
Ryan, please.
Ryan,
Are
what's
those the
what-
final answers?
Yeah, what's the
That's
truth,
my
buddy?
fault. Yeah.
Okay, so the truth is Tinder.
Damn.
I was stationed in Gulfport, Mississippi for 6 months tech school, and I did meet my wife on Tinder today was our first date, but we talked for a week before we went on our first date. But yeah.
Good stuff.
Because I was at RAF Lakenheath,
Yeah.
bit north, and the easiest way to meet ladies that weren't on the base was Tinder, because you could go on a night out, but it's easier to just work and have Tinder and then go meet someone. So
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And
Well,
it all
I've-
worked out basically fine. Except for
it
Ben,
did.
who is
Except for me, who lost a point by my own stubbornness.
because your bloody mindedness. We could have both
Yeah.
gained a point and been even, but you decided for some reason you'd rather lose.
Well, you need chance to catch up. That's what I'm saying.
I'm already winning.
Shut up, you.
The Conversation at the podcast.
This is an interesting question with an interesting twist. So the question is, put together the 2021 Olympic Games using lockdown activities. The idea is there's an Olympic Games next year, and obviously we haven't been in training because of the actual plague. So what are things that we have been doing in our households that we could potentially do an Olympics out of? Anyone got any ideas?
A lot of people made sourdough, didn't they?
Yes, a lot of cooking for that first 2 months. Or
Yeah.
certainly people were buying a lot of flour,
Oh my gosh.
possibly just to flatten out and use as loo roll. I don't know.
We could, did anyone else start a garden? I started a garden.
I attacked my garden with a ferocity that I've never experienced before.
That was a busy week, and then you gave up.
It was a busy week, and then I ran out of garden.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
There's still a little bit left to do, but yeah, I had a huge amount of ivy growing up the side of my house. That's all gone. There was the side garden was really overgrown and had loads of crap in it. That's all cut back and taken away. Yeah,
I guess I worded that wrong. I mean, we started so we have a little like boxed little garden in our yard, so we've planted potatoes and kale and stuff. So we've been growing.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's people listening who kind of like, well, we can't go buy food. We might as well try to start growing some.
I think there was a lot of that.
Yeah. I remember people planting potatoes and stuff, and it did cross my mind, but I thought, they're not going to be ready by the time we'll be out and be able to buy potatoes by the time these ones have grown.
3 years later.
Not so. I really should have. I could have been enjoying my own carrots by now.
I did a little bit of cooking, baking, made a lot of cookies the first few weeks, and then we realised we're already going to get fat through not moving. I can't add cookies to this bullshit. It's not going to work. So I think my arteries thanked me. Reaching for the remote, I've got really good at that. Like when it falls off the sofa because I've accidentally knocked it off by relaxing too hard, and then I gotta move my fat ass a little bit out of reach.
You
know,
knocked
you
it
just
off
exert
because of
yourself.
relaxing too hard.
But then I keep injuring myself by yawning too hard. So I've got to warm up somehow. Yeah, I'm 31 years old, and if I brace too hard for a sneeze, I like cripple my neck for a good half hour. And Laura will just walk in and be like, "What have you done?" "I sneezed wrong." "What's wrong with you?" "I didn't stretch before sneezing." Maybe I shouldn't.
That happens that.
I shouldn't represent our country in the Olympics, is what I'm saying, lockdown or otherwise.
Agreed. No, I got to the point where I'd sneeze and hurt myself, or I'd sleep and then wake up and go, "Ow!" Somehow I'm in pain for 2 days.
Yeah, I did that. That was awful.
So whatever activities these Olympics are going to consist of, we need to prepare properly for them. We need to exercise a little bit.
Hoarding would be a good one. We had a lot of hoarding. I mean, we personally didn't because we're not twats, but like Britain at large did a lot of hoarding.
Oh, what, like toilet
Loo roll,
paper
flour.
balancing?
Yeah.
We bought, we didn't go overboard, but we bought one of those mega bags of pasta before it got crazy.
See, that's fair because you bought one of something.
We bought one.
Yeah.
And it's still sitting in the pantry. It hasn't
Did you
been
get the thing of
touched.
like, actually, I don't really like pasta. more of a rice family, I guess.
No, we already had like our normal bag of pasta, but then we have this massive bag that we bought just in case of like doomsday.
Yeah.
And it's still there. So if anyone out there listening bought like, 30 things of 24 ply toilet roll, I'm sure it's still in your garage. Like you got it stacked up.
Yeah.
I think
How much were these people crapping in the workplace that we actually ran out of domestic loo roll?
Well, I guess coronavirus gets can affect your digestive system as well. So probably a lot.
You won't get it if you don't leave the house to stock up on fucking loo roll.
You can get it anyway. You can get it from an Amazon box, man.
Yeah, I suppose. I'm just resentful that my country is full of idiots.
yeah.
Hey, you're doing better than America right now.
I don't know,
Just say
dude.
that.
I don't know. That could change in November. You would have one up if you get rid of the Oompa Loompa in November. We've still got fucking Tory boy.
I learned about 10 minutes before we started recording that Boris isn't his actual name. His real name's Alexander Boris Johnson.
Oh, jeez.
But he calls himself Boris because then that makes him sound more like a bloke down the pub.
Yeah.
Whereas Alexander Johnson sounds like a posh town mouse from a kid's TV show.
Makes him sound like a Green King drinking twat is what it makes him sound like.
Mm-hmm. But instead he's Boris Johnson. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, politics.
It's so uplifting. Every time you think it couldn't get worse, somehow it gets worse.
You could have... this is a thing that people are apparently doing. You could have, like, the 100-metre sprint, except you've got to go back halfway because you've forgotten your mask.
Oh, I've done that so many times.
Right?
Like, the lockdown has highlighted just to how I don't have my shit together. I don't know how I've held down a job for 7 years. Like, I don't get it. I must be really good at whatever it is I do day to day. Because I can't remember a mask that's going to save my life.
What you do is you have your mask, because I've got a washable one, and I just put it in my wallet.
I did that. That's what I did.
Yeah.
But then, like, one day I got home and I had my mask on, and I was like, when you do things that, like, you sort of consciously think that's not the right thing to do, you're going to screw yourself down the line, and you kind of just do it anyway. You're like, shut up, subconscious. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, like you eat a spoonful of Nutella.
Yeah, you don't know me just because you live in the back of my head, like, and have access to parts of my system I don't understand. I just took the mask off, put it on the bedside table, and I thought to myself, if you don't put that in your jacket pocket, you are going to forget that next time you leave the house. And I did. And now the back of my brain is feeling really smug, front of my brain is feeling really stupid, and I don't know what to do with that.
And buy another mask. Or listen to the little bit next time.
Yeah. You could have like, clawing us back to the topic at hand, you could have 100 meters where you start in a crowd of people and you have to yell all lives matter and then run as fast as you can away. I don't know what you call it.
What?
You just have to contradict the perfectly reasonable protests and then peg it away. And like it's like you're running away. You're not trying to like win a medal. You're running away from the fact that you know what you've said is measurably stupid.
Can I take yours but slightly alter it?
Yeah, go on.
Could we have like rhythm gymnastics, but every time you flip you have to say all lives matter, and then you flip again and you complain about refugees?
Yes, I love it.
How about that one?
So you do a literal flip.
You do a literal flip by going all lives matter except these ones.
the
All lives
refugees.
matter except these ones.
Yeah.
See, it's still miserable, but at least it was closer to a joke than your one.
No, that's fair. But I feel like you arrived there because of my less funny jokes. So I want.
That's true, and I appreciate you and
Thank
your
you.
inability to amuse.
I do want the theatrical rights to your joke. If we do a stage
Okay.
performance, you could also do something like, I want Brexit to take back control, and then you flip. Oh, also I need to communicate with the French borders in order to stop all these refugees. That would be much harder.
We try not to get political on this show. I think we should stop. Save this for the live stream. That's where all that crap comes out.
Oh my god.
You could do a vote for the next American president, like a javelin throw, and each distance is going to be the president. And you got the weird ones. You got Hillary again. You got Trump. You got who's the artist that said he's going to be running for president?
Oh,
Kanye.
Kanye.
Kanye West. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kanye West would be on a marker, and you just kind of throw your javelin, and that's going to be your vote, because it's kind of how shoddy American politics is.
So
right now.
if you cock it up and you get yourself in the foot with the javelin, is that when you have Trump again?
Probably,
You-
yeah.
No,
literally shooting
you-
yourself in the foot.
You could do it cleverly so that all of the presidential candidates are having javelins thrown at them,
Ooh.
and you tell them that the one with the most javelins in will become president,
If they don't die of blood loss.
because it will get rid of all the stupid ones.
It's got a sticky plungy. It's like one of those Nerf javelins, so it doesn't hurt.
Yes.
It kind of sticks to them.
So it's like POTUS Hunger Games, but the person that gets stabbed the most gets to be king or whatever.
Yeah, but you think about it, people would want to see Trump covered in a bunch of toilet plunger javelins, because it'd be really hilarious, and then buying that right, he is now president again.
Yeah, but he's so far down the dementia train, he doesn't even know what a plunger is
Yeah.
or what he's covered in.
I mean, I was going more for actual javelins, because then the stupid ones are full of javelins, and then the one who doesn't have javelins in is probably smart enough to be president.
Yeah.
At least one would hope.
You could do something with like shop mannequins. So it could be like a hurdle, but every time you jump over a hurdle, there's a mannequin, and you've got to, like, as you're jumping the hurdle, place a mask on the mannequin.
Ooh.
And, like, the masks where the face is, they all have some, like, inexplicably stupid thing like 5G gives you coronavirus. So you're putting the mask on to save them from themselves and also cover up the fake news.
And you also gotta use those little those toy little pincher things where it's like an extended little shark mouth to kind of
Yes.
put them on, because you got to be social distance as well.
Yeah, good shout.
You
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a cross between Operation and that thing where you've got to get around the Y without making it go bzzzt.
It's Hook the Duck, but with masks.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it a lot.
We could bring back supermarket sweep, but it all has to be done socially distanced and in a one-way system.
You know what doesn't make sense? Speaking about supermarkets, the first time we went to Morrison's. We got a Morrison's in our town, and I go there
Fancy.
to look, and this is and it was, aisles were gutted, right? The pasta, everything, and I go to the drink aisle where there's the Cokes, the squash, all of that. Everything is gone except for the cheap own brand stuff. So like the 1 pound lemonade or the 40p lemonade and the
Sure.
Cokes. The whole cost-effective section is all perfectly intact, but everything else that is more expensive was gone. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
That almost counterintuitive, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Oh, we're
first
going
thing-
into lockdown, but we don't have to save money.
The first thing Waitrose ran out of was hummus. Organic hummus. And then the other hummuses. And then
Of
the
course it
toilet
did.
paper.
Something that always got me is when you'd go down the alcohol aisle, and there, again, that would have been reduced drastically, except for the crates of Corona. And it's just like, is
That company took a hit. Real
Yeah,
hard.
it lost like $1 billion or something in the stock market because people went, oh no, the same name must be that.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the red stripe disease so I can actually have access to my favorite lager.
No, it makes me think the name of these diseases are bought out by companies. Like Budweiser probably was behind the corona naming of the coronavirus.
The Conversation Hat.
Final question for episode 80. However, if you want more, boy howdy do we have more. Episode 80.2, a mini-sode, a one-question episode, whatever you want to call it, is available to patrons now. Patreon.com/conversation@podcast. You get early access to all episodes with guests. You get a whole week of early access to feel smug about, and you also get a bespoke and exclusive mini episode, which we're going to record after this one. So if you want more, you gotta fork up some money. That's how that works. Ben has literally left.
There's a wasp in my room.
I have
A
nothing
wasp.
else to stall with.
It's fine. I'm still
I'm just
here.
Gonna speak slowly. There he is.
I'm still connected to the mics and
Oh,
recording
okay.
and stuff. It's just that there was a wasp in my room
Okay.
and it was buzzing next to the window, so I thought, hey, deal with that now.
I mean, as long as it's not buzzing next to the mic, this really is a you problem.
That's what's
It was a me
about sitting in
problem.
outer space. For everyone listening, my Zoom call, I'm in outer space. So.
He is. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's
He
pretty
is
cool.
in space.
Look at that view. It's beautiful.
All right.
Don't ask how I'm breathing. I don't know.
Pick a game and fix it.
Any game, like it could be video game, it could be children's game.
I got a
Anything.
bone to pick with Connect 4.
Oh,
whatever you want.
I thought we were going to go Fallout 76 with you again.
Oh my goodness.
They just need to fix.
I got a
releasing
story.
games
I got a
before
story
they're
about
ready.
that. Fallout 76.
Oh, go on.
All right. So, my buddy, the game's coming out, and he doesn't have. He was a very like month to month. He doesn't have the money to get the game. Let me just say that. But he loves he has all these extra games, right? So he goes to GameStop to trade it in, right? But he trades in all of his Pokemon Go, or not Pokemon Go, Pokemon games from old times, right? Ruby,
Yeah.
Sapphire, Emerald, all that. He trades them all in, gets
Wow.
the game. Fast forward to now, and you have the new Pokemon game, Sword and Shield, that's out. And it allows you to take your Pokemon from all the old games that you had, all your nostalgic stuff, to transfer it over. So I have all these beautiful Pokemon that I have long history with. I transfer them over, and he remembers he traded them all in for Fallout 76.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Swing and a miss.
Fallout 76 would have to bring him a hell of a lot of joy to make up for that. And I don't think it did.
No.
I've
You
not
got the-
played
you got
it,
the
but I don't
deluxe-
think it's
The
good.
deluxe, amazing, whatever, special edition deluxe.
Oh, what? The one that came with the
$250
plastic bag?
Yeah.
Silly. I mean, Fallout 76 as it exists currently is okay because it actually basically works as a game now. But like the first 6 months, it was not a functional game. That's the last time I pre-order anything, except maybe Baldur's Gate 3. But we'll see. I don't know if there's much to fix about Fallout 76 other than just waiting a year before you release it. Just wait till you have a finished product and then release it. That's the main thing. I don't give a crap that it's online. Like, that's I'm happy for franchises to experiment with that stuff. But it's sort of got to work. The only other games that spring to mind are games that don't work also, so there isn't really a fix. So like the newer edition of Thief, for example. Now, Thief 1 and 2 were great games. Really, really spooked me out a lot as a teenager. Thief 3, not so much. It's press E to play game, press E to pick up hammer, press E to hit with hammer, press E to end level. Like, it's not very good. But again, there's no easy fix for that other than try harder.
Redo
There are
the
other
game.
keys. Yeah, do a better game is the fix.
Yeah. I got a game.
Go on.
So it was, I played a lot of video games growing up. Two of my favorite teenage year games that I got into a lot was Halo franchise
Good shout.
World of Warcraft.
Also good shout.
Those are my jam.
Yeah.
So then came along a game called Destiny,
Oh yeah.
which was the fusion of Halo and World of Warcraft. It was beautiful, but they put it behind massive paywalls of expansions, and you get a 10-minute story that you don't have to shoot anything in. You can just run past them and finish the level. Like, oh man, it hurt. It could have been an amazing franchise, but Activision, which I don't think they're partnered with anymore.
I wonder why.
Yeah, they ruined it for me. And I played Destiny hardcore, and then when Destiny 2 came out and it was the exact same thing, I stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about Destiny. The sort of reason I never got into it was because it sounded like this whole big thing. And I was like, I don't have the time to get into a whole big thing right now.
Yeah.
I can cope with...
Fuse Halo, the feel and shooting and all that, with the depth of World of Warcraft, and you know how people will get sucked into that.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Ben, any suggestions?
I have one that I think may be a little controversial.
Bring it.
And it almost links back to things that have passed me by. The Last of Us.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone said how fantastic and beautiful and how emotional. People say, like, oh, I cried within the first 2 minutes of the game, which then instantly meant that the first 2 minutes of the game for me held zero emotion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, this is like, well, I'm not going to cry now because I'll be expecting to cry and then I won't because I'll be like, well, they're just... Yeah. I wasn't particularly good at it, I won't lie, because of how the AI is. If you die, the zombies are going to be in different places and move differently than the last time, so there was no like learning curve in the way that I would particularly like it. But the reason why I'm saying that it should be redone or made better is because that game started its existence off as a new Jak and Daxter game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I love Jak and Daxter. They got better and better as they went on, ignoring The Last Frontier because that got sold to Sucker Punch instead of Naughty Dog making it, and it was abysmal. So yeah, to have a PS3, PS4 Jak and Daxter game would have been fantastic, whether it was a remaster or a new adventure. And whilst The Last of Us and Last of Us 2 and all the remastered variants thereof have been very well received and have brought pleasure and joy to people, it's not Jak and Daxter.
That's
and
true.
I want some more.
That's fair.
I've perpetually wanted more Jak and Daxter, and I nearly got it, except they made that. Oh well.
So your fix for this game is a reskin.
My fix for the game would be take it back to formula where you were going to make the game that I wanted.
Right, gotcha.
Instead of the vastly successful series you've created.
I mean, I could say
make
that
the
about
thing
a
that
lot
I
of
like.
things.
True.
Cool.
But yeah, that's it.
I'm sort of struggling to think of games that like I have a fix for. Like one of the ones that springs to mind for some reason is Far Cry Primal, and
I played a little.
It's all Far Cry games in that you have areas of a map that is slightly bigger than you first anticipate. There's a leader in each bit. You hunt some animals, you sell the skin, and somehow that allows you to buy ammo, and then you gradually get more skills and you kill the bad guy. In most Far Cries, there's like hunting is the way to earn money to buy the stuff you need to do the actual quest. But Far Cry Primal seems to be mostly about hunting. And
Yeah.
I understand that a game about hunter-gatherers should at least 50% be about hunting and 50% be about gathering.
Yeah.
But a game that is entirely that, I don't know, falls on its ass a bit. And that came out, I think, about the same time that... bugger, I've forgotten the name of it. You played it, Ben. It had the robot dinosaurs.
Oh, Horizon Zero Dawn.
That had a really strong aesthetic, and I thought we were going to get... And it was a good game. I thought we were going to get like a whole wash of caveman prehistory feeling games, like when Assassin's Creed with all the pirates came out. There were a whole bunch of other pirate games shortly after it. I thought we were going to get the same thing with cavemen. Didn't happen.
No.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like if you had a little more story in that particular Far Cry game, you could have been on something really kick-ass. But I don't know why that one stuck in my head. I've been playing Far Cry 5 recently. It is okay.
The new one
ticks the
coming out
boxes.
looks pretty cool.
That one does look pretty cool.
It's got the bad guy from Breaking Bad
It's
in
got
it.
Gus Fring. Half of his face isn't melted yet. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Do you know that there is links between The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad?
Really?
Not just because they
And
were
one-
released at the similar time.
No, so the blue meth turns up in Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Daryl says that he gets it off of a skinny guy who says bitch a lot.
Yeah.
Gus Fring might actually have been the first zombie, because as we know, a bit of his face gets blown off,
But
and
then
he
falls
doesn't
over.
really, and he doesn't. Yeah, but he still walks around and doesn't care for a good minute or so. So there's potential of that. There's lots of little links. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head.
That's pretty cool.
It's not confirmed or anything, but there's enough to be like, oh, cool.
It's a fun kind of Easter egg reference rather than a...
Yeah.
Franchise
There's definitely references to Breaking Bad in Walking Dead. It's kind of fun to keep an eye out for them if it's not actually linked.
I guess for my community, if anyone's listening that watches my content, I would like Niantic to fix their servers for Pokemon Go. I'm just putting that out there. Anyone listening that knows what I'm talking about, obviously I want that fixed, obviously.
That sounds like a very straightforward fix. You just go up to
Yeah,
a
it's-
server with a crowbar.
I mean,
and go,
they're
"Root, done."
they're $1 billion pushing probably
Yeah.
$1 trillion company, and then their servers can't handle
Yeah.
people playing it.
Yeah,
it just,
there will-
it just can't.
It was there was the Pokemon Pogo Festival last month, and it was playing fine, and then America woke up,
Yeah.
and everything just crashed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So it was so bad that they put out an official statement saying they're going to do a makeup Go Fest for anyone who bought a ticket, and I believe it's next weekend. It's like a 3-hour special limit because for 3 hours the game was like almost unplayable. It was really bad. So, yeah.
Yeah. I heard that they're doing giving a little apology.
It is nice when a company acknowledges a mistake they've made or an oversight and then takes steps to do something about that. Todd Howard.
They only do that about
So angry.
they only do that about 20% of the time. There's a lot of other stuff they mess
Okay.
up and then just brush it under the rug, and we're like, we don't forget. Like,
But there is one. There was a fuck up of sorts, and they released Pokemon that's only available in certain parts of the world. Corcella.
oh yeah.
And they just put it everywhere to say sorry for us messing up. I still to this day don't know what went wrong with the game that made them apologize. I don't
know what.
I must have just completely missed that. But
You might
cool.
get another chance because they did a big mess up last week. They had the Dragon event, and there was supposed to be a Pokemon called Dino, which was supposed to have a high chance of you hatching it or finding
Yeah.
it and being shiny. So it was a big thank you for participating in GoFest. Here's your Ultra Unlock. Dinos are everywhere. After the first 2 days, no one found any, and a study was done that it was a 0.0012% chance to get it. And then the next day, Niantic put out a push notification to the whole world asking if we found a shiny Dino yet. And it has it's supposed to be the event Pokemon, and it has under a 0% chance to be found.
I did notice that whilst playing that, it was like, yeah, this is going to be about loads. And it popped up in 2 of the planned research event thingies. Those were the only ones I saw.
Yes.
You've now explained why.
Yeah, they messed up and they didn't say a thing. It's just like been past. They just moved on, and the whole world's like, come on, you can't do that.
Wow.
I want my dinosaur.
I want my shiny dinosaur, dang it.
Shall we wrap up? We've got some show titles to
Yeah.
look over.
So Liam has been making little notes throughout recording for possible show titles. So we're now going to go through them and see which one makes us laugh the most. And then that'll be what this episode's called.
I know which one I'm going to vote for.
There are 3 toys with the potential for harm.
Okay.
Interesting.
Peak Khaleesi
Yep, there it is. That's my vote.
and bring back supermarket sweep. Is it Peak Khaleesi?
I think it's got to be Pete Khaleesi.
I think that's fair. I'm into it. Good old democracy. Sometimes it works. If it's not
Another time it
between,
gives you a Trump.
yeah, if it's not
Yeah.
between a turd sandwich and a douche, democracy does sort of work. Thank you, South Park.
South Park.
Ryan, can you please just reiterate to people where they can find you online?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find me on YouTube, Zyonik, Z-Y-O-N-I-K, Pokemon GO PvP content. You can also find me on Twitter at Zyonik_.
Good stuff. The cadence of my voice implied there would be more, but there's really not.
There's not. No, that's literally
didn't-
where you can find.
No, I
You can
don't
find
have
me on
anything else.
Twitch. You can find me on Twitch at
Twitch as well.
Zyonik_ because my name was taken. Those are the 3. That's the 3 platforms.
Thank you very much for making time to come on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
And
Yeah.
this was great.
Over
We will
to
now be... I'm
Patreon.
doing the... Liam,
Sorry, I
shut
haven't said
your-
anything for 30 seconds.
Shut your whore mouth.
Okay, what about my regular mouth?
Just give it a minute.
Ugh.
We're now
Sorry.
gonna go and record one last question for a mini episode available to Patreons. Patreon.com/conversation hat. Is that it? Liam, open your whole mouth and confirm.
According to my whore mouth, I'm pretty sure it's Conversation Hat. If not, it's Conversation Hat Podcast. Those are your 2 options. You have time. Don't be a dick about it.
Give us money.
You also have money. You got time and money.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Ryan, thanks for coming on. We'll see you later, pod babies.
Conversation Hat.
Conversation Hat
Podcast.
Podcast.
Conversation Hat.
Conversation hat.
Hat Podcast.
Podcast.
Podcast. Hat. Conversation Hat
Podcast.